there's load 1. Couple balloon tire pieces in there. Nothing special, but piece parts we can use. We are headed to the salvage yard today. Not very much stuff in here. A little bucket full I keep in the shop that I just toss piece parts in. Mostly just junk bikes that I didn't want to do anything with, and a little bit of other stuff as well. And then we're gonna go pick up the second load in old Rusty here. And I would have just gone into the salvage yard in him, but the problem is I had to unload the pieces I wanted to keep before I could have room for the pieces I want to get rid of. And these are the frames I've decided to kind of hoard onto. Obviously the one with the space drops have a serious connection with those for some reason. So we're keeping that one. The older one in the back, I think I could do something with, and it has an interesting drop on the back of it. If nothing else, I'll use the chain guard off of it and the fenders for something else. It is balloon tire-ish, so that era at least. Frame's really heavy too. I really like this frame here. And then I kept one of the other balloon tire, like I said, they're not true balloon tire, but balloon tire-ish bikes. And it had what appears to be kind of a modified Springer front end on it. It has a flat fork, which is kind of interesting, where the fork is kind of crushed flat. And then I kept this Columbia Tourist. Can't really get a good shot of that, but I think this is one. It's a 3-speed hub in the back. I think it's one that I can bring back to life, maybe. It's missing the head badge. Bring it back to life, and I can probably get 15 or 20 bucks out of it. And if not, we'll use the Columbia Tourist chain guard and a sprocket center crank for a clock or something. Plus it has the rack on the back, and the seat is decent, and the handlebars are kind of a neat shape. So that's where we are with that, and I'm gonna head there. Try not to shop, which is always a challenge for me, but I managed to keep out of that hoard of about 8 frames. I kept 4. The frames I actually will strip down and hang up like I do. I'll hang those up on top here once I get the piece parts apart. And then this bike is good and ready to ride. It's going to a place in town called Bloomington Community Bike Project, and that's a rider. Somebody can take that right now and ride it. So we'll get rid of that one probably on Thursday, so in a couple days. But right now, we're gonna head out and see what we get for this. What do you think? There's, I think 3 adult frames in there and a couple of kids' bikes. And then my bucket of steel. There's a clown bike in there. I wanted to keep that, but I just can't get that rear hub to free up. It's too rusted, and I just don't want to dedicate that much time to it for something to just goof around the campground in. So what do you think? $5? $10? I don't know. Steel's really down right now, so see what we get out of it. Stay tuned. I wanted to take a little short video before I unloaded the truck. Went and got the second batch of bikes and piece parts from my buddy Brian in Gasport. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And some pretty good piece parts we can use. The older frames. This one here's a kid's bike. Most of them are missing head badges. That one actually says made in England. But sprockets, handlebars, frames. This red one underneath. I don't know if you can see that or not. Pretty neat frame. Be able to do some things with it. There was a iron baby bed. The ends of it he had in there. The jack I just throw into the single wheel when I'm pulling it because it wants to jump and bounce. So if you throw a little bit of weight in it, it tends to do a little bit better. Tractor seat, I actually think this is aluminum. It's pretty light. But there's some good chain guards and things like that in here. Fenders, nice set of blue fenders right there. Probably do that kind of lotus lamp style that I like to make. Toms. Nothing real special, and that's why I end up with the ones like this. He knows I'll do something with them, and that they're too good for the junkyard, but not good enough really to restore or make anything out of. A couple rat bike possibilities in here though. Check out that seat. That Argyle. Nice, huh? Those handlebars. But we got it all in there, and I don't have to come back for a second load right away. So that's good. I love these flat forks. That's what it's like tape pen striping. And then he just had some random odds and ends that I also took off his hands. The lights were not part of that, but boxes, fork in there. There's a couple boxes here. There's a box in the back, and then this box, and then this one. Just odds and ends, different various pieces of steel and things. I'll come up with some way to repurpose that. And then the front has a bucket in it as well with some heavier duty stuff. So what I don't want or don't need, I will take to the salvage yard, and we'll do that all over again. I'm looking forward to building whatever I decide to come up with on these. You know, just some basic sprockets again. Nothing fancy. Most of them are Schwinn's with the big circles. I think that's an oddball, which is another common design and shape sprocket. We put all the just frames in the little trailer. Interesting that that's a Huffy and it says made in England. Do a little research on that guy. This one here's kind of got that star floral pattern on the crank. Yeah, no head badges. All missing those. But come up with something. Maybe put a couple of them together, make some rat bikes out of them. So that's it for now. I don't think this one has a badge on it. Nope. This is very similar to the frame that I just made that lamp out of. Actually, when you just, if you click down, it's probably the most recent or one of the most recent. I think it says something like bike frame to DIY lamp or something to that effect. So this is almost identical to that one that I made that out of. I don't know if it has the space age drop. Yep. That's pretty much the same exact frame. I just used to build that lamp. So you'll be seeing parts of pieces of these again, and hopefully sooner than later we'll get this unloaded and get to work. Field dimension, I wanted to briefly mention, I've been having a little bit of a problem with the lights. There's a video to this somewhere of me building using the 40 horsepower connecting rods to build the tail lights on the trailer, because I didn't want to drill any holes in the tailgate, any more holes in the tailgate, I guess I should say. So I just welded it to a plate on the outside and then let it sit outside and rust a little bit, and then oiled it down so it kind of looked like it blended in. But I'm having a little trouble with getting a good ground, and I think it's because where these two arms are connecting is all rusty and cruddy, and it's not a typical, trailer hitch. Like when you're going on the big ball of the hitch, you get a lot of good contact and a lot of good ground. And I just think they're not making good ground. So if anybody has any suggestions there, I know what I'm going to try, and hopefully I'll be able to video that and let you know how that goes. But just thought I'd mention that if you're having an issue with a single wheel. And so I'm just running wireless lights. This is Blazer brand wireless light system, so that just hooks into your truck, and then the lights are the ones that you just saw inside here, and it's just a wireless system. I can get them out of there. So this portion of them, yeah, I'm shooting you right into the sun. Let's move over here. And like, again, this is Blazer brand. You can get them for less than $100 on Amazon. They are awesome. There's just an on-off switch here. I think 8 batteries, 8 AA batteries. So you put those on the vehicle you're towing or whatever's in tow, and then you just run that to the truck, and it's magnetic also. It just sticks wherever you put it. The nice thing about it is you don't have to run a big long cable anywhere. They work really well. Highly recommend them. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, whoever guessed 1250, you were correct. Not too bad for a pile of junk.